When I say long live Palestine, I want everybody from the front to the back to say back to me, long live Gaza. Are you with me? This is for Palestine, Ramallah, West Bank, Gaza. This is for the child that is searching for an answer. Wish I could take your tears and replace them with laughter. Long live Palestine!
Long live Gaza!
Long live Palestine!
Long live Gaza!
Palestine, Ramallah, West Bank, Gaza. This is for the child that is searching for an answer. Wish I could take your tears and replace them with laughter. Long live Palestine!
Long live Gaza!
Long live Palestine!
Long live Gaza!
Despite using the most technologically advanced methods of killing people, Gaza still stands. Despite bombing hospitals, schools, churches, mosques, Gaza still stands. Despite killing journalists, teachers, doctors, educators, ambulance workers, Gaza still stands. Despite Benjamin Netanyahu, Yoav Gallant, Benny Gantz, Joe Biden and Rishi Sunak armed against them, Gaza still stands. And we say this message clearly to the occupants of that building over there. When you kill the people of Gaza, the West Bank, South Lebanon, they are us and we are them. When you pick a fight with Gaza, when you pick a fight with Palestine, when you pick a fight with Al-Quds, when you pick a fight with Lebanon, when you pick a fight with Yemen, you're not just fighting with those countries. You're fighting with Pakistan, you're fighting with Algeria, you're fighting with Iraq, you're fighting with Turkey, you are fighting with billions across the world. We are the majority of humanity. The majority of humanity stand with the Palestinian people. They do not stand with Benjamin Netanyahu. The majority of humanity see Palestinians' resistance as a right under international law. We are with them. We are with the Palestinian will to live and to survive. And what we have to remember in this country is that when two women are sniped by the Israeli military in a church in Gaza, the components for that sniper rifle were provided by the British government. Sniper rifles have been sold by this country to Israel. When you look at the Apache helicopter, which bombs ambulances in Gaza, let me tell you, it's not simply a case of that Apache helicopter coming from a US arms company. No. You have the radar systems, the navigation equipment, the fire control systems, and even the engine assemblies are made in Britain by British companies. You look at the F-35 that Israel uses to bomb Gaza. There are 100 companies in this country, based in this country, that work on the F-35, that provide components for that contraption. From BAE Systems to Rolls-Royce to GE Aviation. And what about the F-16? The fearsome F-16, which has failed to subjugate the people of Gaza. The targeting technology within that contraption is made in Britain by BAE Systems. The HUD technology that is used, those exports are signed often by the business secretary in this country. Now Britain is a signatory and a ratifier of the Arms Trade Treaty, which states clearly that you cannot export arms if you have any reason to believe they may be used for violations of international humanitarian law. Britain breaks its own laws. It breaks its own laws by exporting arms to Israel. Now, Britain has a secret military agreement with Israel signed in 2020, which it refuses to make public. We do not know the full details and implications of that deal between the British and the Israeli military. But what we say now, on the back of what is happening in Gaza, we need to know the details of that deal. Make it public. To those within the Ministry of Defence, the former Defence Minister Ben Wallace, that have spoken out against what Israel is doing in Gaza, we say to you clearly, make the details of the deal public. We must know, there is a public interest to know the details of that deal. Now, Britain has several military bases in Cyprus, from which it has organised flights back and forth from Cyprus to Tel Aviv, around a 40-minute flight. Those flights have increased exponentially during the war. Those planes can carry military personnel. Those planes can carry military equipment. Why has Britain had flights back and forth from its military bases in Cyprus to the occupier entity? Why? Explain that to us. On a daily basis, for the first month or two of the war, this was happening. We also have evidence that the United States have been providing Israel with weaponry from that very base, from that British military base in Cyprus. That is a material way in which Britain is involved in this genocidal war against the people of Gaza. What we also know, according to the former British ambassador to Uzbekistan, Craig Murray, British intelligence based on the base in Cyprus are intercepting the communications of resistance factions in the region and feeding it back to the Israelis. We know that the NSA, the US intelligence agency, is also based on that base and shares details on a daily basis with the Israelis. This is not just an Israeli genocidal war against the people of Gaza, but also a wider regional war against the region. It's a British and a US war, more than it's ever been at any point historically. And imagine, during the war, Britain sent an extra 500 soldiers to that base to assist with what Israel is doing. Britain mobilized the R1 shadow spy plane over Gaza. For what reason? You have to remember, one of the specialities of that plane is target acquisition. What is the extent of British involvement in what we are seeing? So ultimately what we have to do is find ways in which we can, number one, work out what exactly Britain is involved in, and number two, how we can stop Britain doing that. You have had Elbit Systems, the largest Israeli arms company, have 10 sites in this country, but it doesn't anymore. It only has 8 sites in this country. And you know why? Because people in the communities around Elbit Systems went in and shut down those factories. And you know what else? Off the back of those acts of direct action, we saw the British Ministry of Defence cancel £280 million worth of contracts with Elbit Systems. We have a moral and legal obligation to shut down Israeli arms companies active in this country today, now, as soon as possible. So when I say long live Palestine, I want every single one of you, from the front to the back, to scream so loud that they hear you all the way down in the Israeli embassy in Kensington. This is for Palestine, Ramallah, West Bank, Gaza. This is for the child that is searching for an answer. We shall take your tears and replace them with laughter. Long live Palestine!
Long live Gaza!
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 Thank you very much. Peace and love.